All right. Looks like we've got some changes here at the South Dakota Festival of Books. I'm looking at the bulletin and I see where I went wrong. Updates. Looks like we're gonna miss Tommy Orange. Dang, I was really looking forward to meeting him. Change the venue. So yeah, here's all canceled events. Yep, Tommy Orange. Doggone it. But anyway, your favorite book nerd is still gonna share with you some cool stuff. Look at all these authors who are gonna show up. Each one of these badges, you see, is an author, and there's a lot of natives that are involved. Winds of an Eagle, Donna Bowman? Donna Janelle Bowman? Winds of an Eagle, Billy Mills. Billy Mills is going to be here. Oh, goody, goody gumdrops. What else do we have? I'm going to go faster because I made a previous version of this video a second ago, and I just stood here and made a fool out of myself and just yakety, yakety, yak, 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 too much. The odds of getting even. Amanda Sellett. I don't think she's native. Lone Dog Road. Ooh, that looks interesting. Mary Stockwell. Interrupted Odyssey. Ulysses S. Grant and the American Indians. So this kind of connects to what I was telling you before. What actually constitutes native literature? Books written by Indians or books about Indians? Becoming Little Shell. A landless Indian's journey home. Ha! And they say Indians don't have beards. Never mind. Ooh, look at that one. Mary Annette's Pember. Medicine River. A story of survival and the legacy of Indian boarding schools. Look at that one. Earl's own Dakota Odyssey. I don't know if that's a native Bruce Roseland or not. This one cracks me up. White Lies. How the South lost the Civil War and then rewrote the history. And Balsam. So yeah, we got some cool stuff going on here. Forbearance. I'm not sure what that is. Who else do we have? I'm trying to go faster because, again, like I said before, my previous video that I made was too darn slow. Grandma's Teepee, S.D. Nelson. Ooh, neato. Present day Lakota story. For kids, probably. Amy Freakholm? Nighthawk. Or Highhawk. I'm not sure if that's native or not, but what the heck. This one must be another native kid's book. Far from the Forest. Tracy Hoff. Illustrated by Amy Miles. And of course, last but not least, how can we forget my dear friend Tiffany Midge? Supposed to meet her today. Well, I don't know. According to the schedule, I might actually be a day early. Well, who knows? We'll figure it out. Maybe I'll just scrunch down like this. Now, here's something that is important for us as students, and I include myself, of Native American literature. So you see, I've been thinking about this again and again, and you know how I'm always fussing about me, I, and how we natives, we're not supposed to get into that kind of stuff, talking about me, I all the time. Well, as I was driving over here, I was thinking about it some more and how it relates to our literature. You know how you try to teach your kids right from wrong, and you don't want to come across as preaching or nagging? You know how that is? You know, you got some hard-headed kids who are always getting in trouble, and you want to keep them out of trouble, and you can say, you can't do that, you shouldn't do that, and blah, 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 blah. And of course, what you say is going to go in one ear and out the other, right? Yes. Well, let's imagine for a second a dad. He's got a knuckle-headed son who just can't seem to stay out of trouble. Maybe he got thrown in the slammer for doing something really bad. Well, and the dad tries to tell him, well, son, This is just an example before he got thrown into jail, maybe. I wouldn't put that tattoo, that OnlyFans model, on my bicep if I were you. You're setting yourself on fire, kid. Back when I was your age, I tried to do something similar and blah, 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 blah. And of course, the kid is going to roll his eye. Oh, Dad, old man. Of course, and it's going to go in one ear and out the other, like I said before. Well, we natives, you see. Here it comes. Put on your listening and your thinking cap. Get those ears perked up. We natives have found a solution to this problem thousands of years ago. What do I mean? Well, rather than bury our kids under me, I, we create stories. Stories featuring Coyote or Raven or Ikitome or some other culture hero or character who can dramatize the lessons for us. You see where I'm getting with this? If you want to know the literary or philosophical term for this for our class, there is a term. It's called didactic narrative distancing. Let me read that again. Didactic narrative distancing. This refers to the deliberate shift away from first person, singular, to reduce defensiveness in the listener. It lets the lesson sneak past the guard, maybe the mental or emotional guard, so to speak. As a matter of fact, indirection is a hallmark of much of our rhetoric and storytelling traditions. We don't just say, don't do X, Y, Z because here's what happened when I tried it. We use third person self-narration, sometimes called Iliism, to tell a story where a proxy character does it, the bad thing or the stupid thing, because you know how kids are. They don't, their frontal lobe isn't fully formed yet, so of course they're going to do stupid stuff. How do you get away from that? Again, Iliism. Tell a story where a proxy character does it, and the consequences of doing it speak for themselves. So again and again and again and again, we're going to see this in native literature. I believe one person who's really good at it is, of course, Sherman Alexie, my dear friend who lives over there in Seattle. He's from the Spookani tribe, and he's still in hiding because he got Me Too'd something terrible back during the Me Too era. But we don't want to talk about that right now because I want to stay focused on the fun stuff. You see. I got to stop saying you see all the time. You see. Well, what I mean by this is he probably saw and did a lot of dumb stuff in his youth. And rather than write it as an autobiography or an autobiographical novel, he's going to have a character called Lester Falls Apart do it. Or the other guy, I forgot what his name is, Victor something or other. Or Thomas Builds the Fire. Maybe he took his own person and splintered him into 3 or 4 different characters, and each one who says stupid things. My favorite, of course, is Thomas Builds the Fire, because he's a lot like me. I've been asking Sherman if he modeled Thomas after me, but he won't tell me, and he hasn't written in a long time. I got to get on his case about that. All right, that's enough of me talking. I bet you already spoke for 20 minutes. So we're going to knock it off there. Thank you so much. And again, signing off from the South Dakota Book Festival, or Festival of Books at Singingeagle. Here is Early, typical Indian nerd, in an empty room. And here's all the goodies that are prepared for the authors and their badges, and nobody's here but me. All right, thanks so much. You guys have an awesome day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.